Welcome Pisces, June 2024. It's moving pretty rapidly. You know, they say home is where the heart is, and right now if you take a look at your horoscope, for this month anyhow, we see 3 planets in this 4th house of home. You've got to have a happy life. There's no point being successful and being miserable on the domestic front. Here we see this month a very significant cluster of planets. There you see Mercury entering into that triplicate of Jupiter, Venus and Sun on the 3rd of June, followed very, very quickly on the 6th, pardon me, by the lunar transit, which forms a new moon there also in this 4th house. The new moon is significant because it's telling us that this area of your life is about to change. Very dramatic change. That change has to be buttressed by understanding, that's Mercury, self-confidence, which is the Sun, love, which is Venus, and a spiritual sense that must override any communication or interaction with the people with whom you live. The new moon is about casting aside old habits, those things which have held you back. So, yes, home is where the heart is, but the heart is not always satisfied or happy. And so this month's reading, I think, is primarily focused on increasing your happiness quotient, your emotional quotient, that EQ. That takes time, it takes commitment, and it takes, as we can see here from Mercury, a very intense and honest, open communication. You notice that Mercury rules the 7th house in your horoscope, which is all about your relationships, your marriage. Notice there on the 14th, it actually creates a square aspect, very, very challenging. So communication is not always easy. The 3rd house of your horoscope is to do with communication. And there again we see on the 9th, the transit of Mars into this area. Mars is a wholly good planet for you, really. It rules good areas in your horoscope, the 2nd and the 9th, these directions, which are conducive to good. But Mars still has its inherent difficulty. It's abrasive at times. It can make you a little harsh. There again on the 17th, we see the opposition of the moon to Mars. And at the same time, the double transit of Mercury and Venus into this 5th house of romance. Hopefully this is going to counteract this opposition of the moon and Mars and brings with it more romantic feelings, a sense of camaraderie and friendship. For those of you that aren't in a relationship, this is also signaling the beginning of friendships, acquaintanships with their influence on the 11th house as well. 11th house is your friendships. 5th house is your romance, love affairs, creativity, and if you're a parent, it has something to do with your children. The Sun makes its entry there as well. So you can see a big shift away from this 4th house into the 5th house, which is a very creative area here. That is where the home, the heart can converge when you're in the zone, doing what you love, focused unconditionally, without too much thought for the outcome or the fruits of your action. That is when your best work. That is when love flows freely and you can make that connection with others, the connection you really want. That's also when you make the best connection with yourself. Unless you're able to find that self-love, unless your heart is able to settle into its own home into its own self, then you're not going to find much happiness. So I think this month is very much about fine-tuning yourself. Here we see the moon making a conjunction with Saturn in your sun sign. That's been restrictive for some time. And on the 29th and 30th, further to this conjunction of the moon and Saturn, you'll see the retrograde phase commencing, the stationary retrograde phase of Saturn in your sun sign. That is a period of review for some months, but I think that is also going to help add weight, positive weight in the long run, to this newfound self, this newfound ability to connect with your heart and to further connect that with the people in your home life, your relatives, your family members, to produce a much more satisfying experience in your life. I've got more for you there. Follow the links to astrology.com.au. We've put together the monthly forecast for you that gives you a little bit more information. Please do subscribe. That helps our channel. And in exchange, I'm more than happy to answer any questions if you want to drop me a line. I'm going to be here again next month and every month. Hope you'll join us. Same time here on the channel. In the meantime, stay safe. Bye-bye for now.